victories, he alone.
Was after the first two to make it
rounds, any rounds, and trying body and take a
psychological aspect of it. What kind of
what he did before, because unfortunate to,
but he looks a little bit loose.
Is determined to make a difference, and
or maybe acquiescence in his
about that fight. And his son is always
his 4-year-old son, Joan Guzman.
So far, it's similar to the first fight in the sense that
scheduled for 12, Ali Trunks, Joan Guzman, fighting out of Brooklyn by way of the Dominican. Good first round and work the body a little bit.
Use it. You're gonna stick it out there, use it.
Steps in with an uppercut, good hook to the body by Guzman, digging in deep.
Showing some good quick with the reach of a longer guy than him. Like, Funega's got out of the way of his punch.
This is what we saw in the first fight. Good, and then Funeka got the blood from the nose. Good right. Guzman told us, yes, I just stopped moving. I panicked. Cornered it. His corner for the last fight is out. Lee Beard is now in the corner for Guzman.
Funega's trainer and a former champion himself. In Funeka, in the first fight, is that it's in a fighter's nature to see what his opponent has early on before he really starts fighting. In Bangu's experience, it's just in a fighter's nature. But here we see, even though Funeka,
maybe we could just make the case he's a bit of a slow starter.
Reach and size, fighter.
Well, Funeka doesn't do anything too special. He's really a basic boxer. He comes forward. As far as doing something different and spectacular, I don't see that from
with his jab. As we talked about at the beginning, he landed 142 jabs. Lennox, how he's going to have to control Guzman as Guzman with a roundhouse right that found the cheek of Funeka. They exchange lefts.
There's that jab getting
9 of 35.
Right hand that Guzman effect.
That's acceptable for a punch behind that shoulder.
Taunting Funeka a little bit. The right as effectively as he needs to.
Well, better jab, a little bit faster, because right now he's kind of pushing it out there. He needs to really.
Funeka seems to me to be the type of fighter that's useless against. He's a fighting machine. You want to be. I don't think he's going to continue to throw.
But the thing is, he's throwing for him to really punch that Funeka against a man that moves quite well.
After Guzman had won the first two,
he blocked it with his forearm.
Use it.
Guzman a couple times about using that left hand.
Because I understand what Funega's face, so actually using it as a defensive mechanism as well. But in my boxing career, I always stick my left hand out. I use it as a measuring tool as well.
Left hand got to the face, then the jab does.
Guzman looked at him like, you punch like a welterweight. Yeah.
Guzman's only thrown 31 punches. He is 63. Official
28, Joan Guzman. I've seen Ali Funeka. He gives up the first 2 rounds. I mean, it's like at the start to feel the other guy started landing anything in the 3rd round. So I've got to quote what Robert Burns would say to Guzman. He said it already 4 times. He keeps, and I tell you something, I don't think Vladimir Klitschko message yet. Joan Guzman barely stuck his arm out, and Bird won them 4 times.
Because to an annoying level at times.
And I don't really understand what I don't understand that rule quite. Sticking out your hand is actually closer to the guy's face. I don't know. It doesn't bother me. It's not like holding.
I wouldn't like somebody's guys.
Worse if a much taller guy's doing it. If Funeka was doing it, I could see the warnings.
I guess that's why you do it, Lennox. You know you don't like it.
And talk about Klitschko does it.
And meanwhile, all Funeka does is go to is leave South Africa, reach to the North America, fight under unfair circumstances in his last 3 fights, and yet, in my mind, prove himself the best lightweight in the world.
Good body work by Guzman.
More effect because he throws punches because he's got long arms. So this is chin side. And come back with
Funega's Guzman's thrown so far in this round. Funeka got a left inside that score.
punches right before the end of the round. Also got hit by a good shot success rate.
And his train's gassed already.
Ali Funeka in the title because Guzman was not in our main event tonight in 7-1 with 26 on HBO's Boxing After Dark. Diaz, the cut man, on your nose, everything's okay. And when he had been cut, and he didn't really,
because his nose was so badly, but you might imagine.
Taking the time.
And listen, he's a talent, has been in the past a determined fighter. We saw it in their last fight. A kind of, because stuff like that, if he's not.
Get caught into the con, you know. Guzman really sells Nega, you know, he's taking it. He's not, he's reacting off work, so he's
fighter.
A little bit more work here. Get this round under his belt. He's inside.
No, not has been hurt. Right hand from Funeka. Guzman.
Here, he basically allows Funeka to follow him around, and this is what he just should do.
He said that he's heavier, didn't have to make the weight. I don't know about in terms of how many rounds he's actually through 5.5 rounds.
That left hand, we'll see psychologically how that on. Right hand, Funeka, roundhouse right dropped him. Campbell, right has turned this fight around here in round 6.
Guzman's found something with that looping right hand. He's found the range with it.
And Funeka better watch out, better bring up that left hand because he doesn't want to get hit there too much.
That was dramatic. Guzman in that urgency and delivered.
Chops that right again, then digs to the body, does Guzman. Right again to the ear.
This is where Guzman's experience is coming out because he's really doing the right thing right now, and that's working to the body first and then bringing it upstairs. The only thing right now he should do is really step to one.
Blood, and he didn't panic. He threw a perfect right.
Senses a little bit of around. Not a particularly straight punch, a little bit wide, but it comes down.
And that came just moments after Guzman realized that blood was coming.
5th round, Funeka didn't do much. It doesn't go in hands, and then he gets an extra point for dropping him in the 6th. So I've got Joan Guzman with a 3-point lead so far. Interesting. From 135 on. So I think Guzman's being a Hindu Guzman.
Guzman can't win the belt, but Funeka can. Now, it's apart. Funeka at 144 and change, I believe.
But it's the work you have to do to make the weight leading up.
To torture himself to make weight. Guzman doesn't. He just doesn't have to put himself through the same thing.
Lennox, what does Funeka have to do to sort of...
What he's doing now is the urgency because he doesn't like the fact that he got knocked down for one. Himself back into the fight. He's working a lot more than Guzman is getting some good results from that.
One thing Funeka has not done as effectively as 27% of his jabs in the first meeting. Right now he's at 17%. And that's because Guzman has given him more angles.
Watch your head.
I also think the weight is helping Guzman absorb some of these punches. He doesn't seem to be impressed with Funeka's punching power, where in the first fight Funeka had Guzman hurt several times.
Lennox, is this not really the right place for...
Not getting hit, but he's the moment, so he needs to be using his reach a lot more and keeping this fight more on the outside.
Better punch output in this round for Funeka. He's thrown 80 so far to Guzman's 43.
Use it.
Fight some of the things that, but is he still staying too close to Guzman, staying in his range as they trade big shots?
He is. He's a little bit too close. I think he should be real. Even if he misses his head, he's going to hit him in the...
This fight totally different, a little awkward at times.
And he's using them. when he's throwing out 3 jabs, he's got to come with that right hand because he's setting himself up for seeing where it's open. That's where he should place the right hand.
Left hand by
there. It's not that Funeka is not, it's that the punches target. You see him landing right there. 2 shots that in the first fight looked like they would have hurt Guzman, and here Guzman seems contemptuous of Funeka's power.
Well, I think he was always like that anyway, because
in the trenches with you.
Yeah, because he can see, and I'm going to win.
I hear your legs are doing a little dance, you know? He could have that same sense of being contemptuous, affecting him the same way.
Try to make the weight. There's no draining at all of Guzman. He's as strong as he's in the scoring. It's a close this time, all 3 of them.
He punched all his 3-4.
Unlike the flat there for Funeka to just pick apart, pick apart, pick apart. Guzman staying on his toes, clash of heads. Guzman was waiting for Robert Byrd to step in and do something.
Because of the knockdown, had to close the distance. So you see some of these jabs just hitting air because Funeka's the space he needs for those escape routes.
Good right hand by Guzman.
Beard told us yesterday, just look at movement, and you're seeing a lot more. What do you do to sort of?
But Guzman with his head, Funega's missing a lot of good punches in there, and
left hand got inside by
86. That a couple of them did enough to pull out round 7 and 8, but in round 9, Guzman landed really good shots and Funeka didn't. And Joan Guzman, he doesn't throw a lot of combinations, but when he lands that right hand, it's really powerful, does a lot of damage. I mean, normally Judge doesn't score.
Could tilt it 1-1.
Extra point for the knockdown is going to weigh heavily in the fight.
I think this is a different. Guzman does the big
back. I think, always doing some good work in there.
Corner work was telling when, and another voice saying you got to be careful because Guzman has shown the power to her.
Just make sure your defense is.
Only Funeka could win the title here in the light. Came in 9 pounds heavy.
I think these 2 rounds for both boxers.
Watch your head, watch your head.
Guzman digs with a right hand to the body, then a left hand right on the belt.
Putting all of his weight into those body shanky fighter like that.
Waste time in there and take it. And we're going to see if it's low. Well, it was on the belt line a little bit low, but that really depends on
the belly button.
Funeka, who averaged 7%, he was 27% in the last meeting. The movement of Guzman has really urging him in between rounds that this is a close fight.
Round in the next. If he wants to get out of North America with a win finally, Funeka was very professional. 4.5 minutes of action.
He had a surprise for us, but I'm yet to see.
He might be losing the fight.
Blocks that little.
Yeah,
right.
Like at the most. Work. You need to work.
Last idea that ring generalship has ever scored for NB that round. Who's landing generalship here? Guzman, if not always dictating that he's in control.
Following Guzman around the ring is the wrong thing to do. So, and his move work you've done, you still got to do some work in there.
Even though it seems as though if he were to show some passion and somehow get knocked, this fight will score.
But the telling, despite the fact that Funeka put it.
Yeah, well, he's.
When he throws that jab, he's like he's. And that's because he's going after the
Lennox. The blood, he's moved for 12 rounds.
Oh, he looks a lot better than the first round.
Feel free, the canvas is blank.
Joan Guzman.
Decision in a very power punches.